Hey guys, I'm sorry it took a few minutes to get started. For some reason on my cell phone, which I was trying to do a live video from the Waters of Hope page, it wasn't allowing me to, still not connecting, it's still just showing connection. So I'm really not sure what's going on with there or why I've had that problem. I've never had that problem before, but I'm on my laptop and I'm able to do a live video from there. So I'm waiting on some more people to get joined. And while I'm waiting on you guys to get started, I am consuming medical cannabis. This is raw hemp papers, and encased in them are strawberry lemon haze. This is a sativa strain I'm using right now. But that's not what I came to talk to you about today. And I'm not going to have a lot of time to respond. Not going to be able to respond to a lot. I see you guys popping in there and saying hi. And I appreciate you joining me. And I'm just waiting right now. We got 23, 24 people. Waiting on a few more people to jump in. And then I'm going to get started with the message that I'm so excited to share with you guys. I'm going to give you a little background about me. For some of you that may be new to my Facebook page, new to who I am and what I do and what I'm about. This says it all right here, this shirt. Treating COPD, or Cannabis Treats COPD. My group on Facebook, Treating COPD with Cannabis. My name is Jeff Waters. Also was known for a while on Facebook as as Jeff COPD Waters. And then they forced me to change it back to just my regular name and drop the COPD. It went out on me because I was talking so much. So, one of the first things I wanted to share with you guys is a little bit about me. Again, for those that don't know me, I am a medical marijuana patient now living in Colorado, Denver area, originally from Oklahoma area. For the past 3.5 years, I lived in Oklahoma, treated myself illegally every day with cannabis oil. That was delivered to me safely as I needed it from Colorado, California, and other legal states. So I spent about roughly 3.5 years, 4 years now to the point I'm at now, treating myself very aggressively with cannabis oil. And now that I'm out in Colorado, I do partake and enjoy a lot of different ways of using cannabis products. More background on me, what got me to this point, why a lot of you know me on Facebook, or why a lot of you follow me on Facebook, is because roughly 9.5 years ago now, I was diagnosed with COPD, also diagnosed with hemochromatosis. COPD is a lung encasement disease and basically causes you to have problems breathing. It encompasses a lot of different lung elements, and they blanket them all under the term COPD. It is the third leading cause of death, and out the list of leading killers, it is the only one that's rising. So that's what COPD is. It affects millions of people worldwide. The doctors, the healthcare community, the world will tell you there's no cure. You're never going to get better. All we can do is slow the progression of the disease. That's what they tell you. I'm here to tell you some good news about that tonight. That's not the truth. I'm living proof of that. But before I get to that, let me tell you a little bit more about my story. I grew up in the 70s, 80s, born in the early 70s. Grew up in a smaller community at the time. Most people, knew your doctors, you knew who you're dealing with. Matter of fact, the doctor that delivered me was close friends with my family, would literally come over at holidays to pop in and say Merry Christmas and exchange gifts and that type of thing. So in that time frame of growing up, you trusted your doctors. They did have your best interests at heart, and they did want to help to heal you, to cure you, not to medicate you all the time. So it was a different time. But I grew up learning to trust doctors and do what they told you to do. So when I got COPD, I started going to the doctors. They started prescribing the pharmaceuticals and the drugs. First it was ProAir, just a regular rescue inhaler. Then I came back. Yeah, it's not working as well anymore. I need something else. And then they pile on another inhaler, then another inhaler, then another inhaler. Then I would have other problems come up. Depression. I had cholesterol got high because my diet was crazy. I ate what I wanted, basically did what I wanted. tons of things started happening to me. Gallbladder problems, you name it. I was in the hospital at one point when my disease progressed. I was in the hospital weekly, weekends, every weekend. You could catch me at the local emergency clinics in the cities I was living in. So they piled on the drugs with me. I followed the orders. I did the plan, did everything they told me to do, to the point that I was 190 pounds. I was on oxygen, 22 different pharmaceuticals at one time. It was hated life. So, following the plan, doing what they told me to do, getting worse and worse and worse, till finally one day, February 27th, 2013, I woke up, a normal day, nothing abnormal about it. I started feeling a little maybe stuffed up in my nose. I know now it's swelling, but I just thought it was stuffed up, maybe a sinus infection. Blew it off, didn't think anything about it because I had them before. I thought, I'll be over in 24 hours, take some Benadryl or whatever. So I didn't think anything about it. So 24 hours go on, it gets worse. At that point, we're living in a small community in Oklahoma called Chakota, Oklahoma. If you're watching from Chakota, Oklahoma, much love to you guys. Did a lot of activism there. And you showed me a lot of love in Chakota, Oklahoma, so I appreciate you guys. So anyway, we drove to the closest hospital at that time, which is about 20 minutes away, McAllister, Oklahoma. And got there, waited in the emergency room, did the whole deal. I just had a little bit of facial swelling, mainly around this area then. And the funny thing about it, too, to go back a little bit, when that started, I find now that my memories were just hazy. A few memories here and there that I had from the point that I went to the hospital, to the point into the coma, and that I faced hazy memories. So something was obviously going on more than just here. I didn't know it, didn't realize it. So, first hospital, Benadryl sends me home. So I think it was another 24 hours. Took the Benadryl, stayed at home. It was getting worse. So, round two to the hospitals. Went to a different hospital. Both these hospitals, this was in Muskogee, small rural areas. So went to this hospital in Muskogee. Now, they told me that I had some sort of thing going on with the Benadryl. And they also said I had a lung infection and gave me Z-Paks. And if you know what those are, commonly prescribed for lung infections. So antibiotics. So they gave me those medicines and sent me home. So then I believe the next morning I woke up, and if you see the pictures online, I post them, I've shared them, I'll post them again. I was just swollen up like I'd been in a fight. My eyes are almost swollen shut. So then, by this point, my ex that I was with at the time was getting worried. Didn't know what to do. Contacted some friends. I was like, get him to the biggest hospital, closest to you, which was Tulsa, Oklahoma, which was about an hour or so away from us in Chakota. So, hey, thanks for y'all for joining me. I'm in the middle of trying to give you some background about me and what happened to me. So, we got to Tulsa, Oklahoma, to the St. Francis Hospital. And I don't remember any of the ride there. I don't remember much of what was said between my ex and I. One of the last things I remember was telling her when I went in, I was paranoid. I don't know what it was about doctors and hospitals, and I told her, "Don't let them kill me here." And I had no clue at that point how sick I really was and what was going on. So when I got to St. Francis, they said if I'd waited 24 more hours, that I'd been dead. Well, so that was on February 27th. So they admitted me that was nighttime. They admitted me. So then none of us still at that point knew how bad I really was, though, and what was to come. So then I remember going into the emergency room vaguely. I remember them take my blood pressure and talk to them a little bit. And I remember various points in my hospital and being in the hospital bed. I remember one of the last things that I do remember is them telling me that they were probably going to have to intubate me. And that freaked me out. And I didn't have anybody there with me at the time because my ex had to get back. She had to work. and my mother hadn't gotten to me yet. She was taking care of my grandmother, and so it wasn't just simple she could get right to me. And again, none of us knew really just how bad and what the scenario was and what the come was. Excuse me while I hit my medicine. So, in the hospital, excuse me, that's a good hit. So, in the hospital, don't remember, the next thing I know, I don't remember much. I'm just, next thing I know, I'm in a coma. So, in my coma, here's where it gets good, people. Here's the message I've been saving, that I've been wanting to share with you for a long time. And a lot of this, some of this that happened while I was in my coma and things that occurred, I didn't realize a lot of it. I didn't understand a lot of it. When I first came home from the hospital, I was just crazy in my mind with everything that happened. I couldn't comprehend it. Couldn't understand some of the stuff that I saw, some of the things that happened. So let me get a little bit into that. If I were to share that whole story with you tonight, we would be here for hours. And I know you don't have hours, and I don't have hours. My Cubs are on in the other room, guys. My Cubs are on. I'm spending time with you. So, anyway, so let's get back to the story. I'm off track. So, in my coma, and I believe, and I don't know when this point happened, but I do know, at one point, my throat started to close up. It was unexpected. They thought maybe there was a chance it could happen. They were talking about doing a trach, but that hadn't happened yet. It happened unexpectedly, out of the blue, apparently. And they had trouble getting me into a surgery room to get the trach done. Also, I had, apparently, on this side, some infection going on in there. So what happened to me to get me to that point at the hospital, what put me into the coma, what caused the whole spill now, to get to the meat. Let's get to the meat of the story, Jeff. So what happened? What caused that to me? The pictures you saw, the coma that you saw. I want to be clear about this because everybody online wants to talk a lot of crap and wants to mix things up, and they want to say that I'm mixing things up. When I got to that hospital and everything that happened to you in the hospital, I did not use cannabis at that point. I knew nothing about cannabis at that point other than it was a recreational drug that I enjoyed here and there on occasion. I enjoyed growing up when I was a teenager. I used it. I had friends that used it. It was my problem, the reason why I didn't use it regularly. I never thought of it as a medicine. We weren't taught that. Who knew, right? Number one. Number two, it didn't cause me problems in my work life and personal life like that, but it caused me problems in my personal life because the wives my ex-wives, my girlfriends, everybody, the women that I was with, never liked it. Never liked cannabis, hated it. So it was more for me like, hey, it's not worth arguing over. It's just a recreational thing. Nah. So that was my background prior to that, cannabis really. So what got me there, that coma, was lisinopril, one of the 22 pharmaceutical drugs that was prescribed to me that I used as directed, as I was told to, for 3 years prior with no problems whatsoever, zero problems. Actually, it helped my blood pressure. It kept my blood pressure down some. My blood pressure always ran high though then. It was really high. And it was because I was fat and I wasn't exercising. I was a COPD patient. I was depressed. Those are all the things that contributed to my high blood pressure, I believe. But the doctors never asked me those questions. The doctor just threw the pills. Threw the pills at me. They didn't care. So the lisinopril caused that. It caused all the swelling you saw in the pictures. When you see the pictures of me laying in the bed and you see I have a big belly, my body looks swelled, that's not swelling in my body. I didn't get any swelling in my body from lisinopril. That was just being fat and overweight. Everything that lisinopril did was here, right here in the space, that caused the problem. And then in my neck, because then my neck starts filling up. So, back to the story. So, in the hospital, in a medically induced coma because of the lisinopril. On top of that, I had pneumonia really bad. I had no idea that I had pneumonia really that bad. I just thought it was my COPD. I just normal to living that way then. And so I didn't think anything about it. While I was in the coma, at some point, I don't know what point, at some point I got internal MRSA. So that was the situation. Wasn't supposed to make it. It was touch and go all the time. They brought friends and family in several times to, say goodbye and that type of thing and to see me. And so that was the point we're at. So then my throat started to swell up unexpectedly. I could smoke this because it's medical cannabis and it's good for me and my lungs and it works for me. If you have a problem with that, that's on you, not me. I could care less. Really, who cares? I don't care if you have a problem with me smoking cannabis. But anyway, back to this subject. I keep going off, man. I apologize, guys. So when I went into I think this is when my near-death experience happened, but I had no way of knowing. So they tell me that at that point, when my throat started to close up, my oxygen fell really low for a period of time. And then on top of that, I was on the ventilator because my lungs were shot. They were in horrible shape. Not only the pneumonia, but I only had 30% lung function at that time, stage 3 COPD. So, at that point it dropped. They had to rush me to find a surgery room or whatever to get the trach done, and they had an infection. Some infection in my jawline they had to take out. So, I think that's when my near-death experience happened. Between the period where they took me off the ventilator, they said, Max said it was like a scene out of a TV show, she said. And they pulled me out into the room, took me off the ventilator and everything. There was a person on top of me with the whole bagging me and breathing for me. And I don't remember any of it, obviously. And said I had one tear coming down my eye. But I don't remember it, obviously. So I think that's when that happened. But I had a near-death experience. What I experienced, one of the first things that I experienced was my greeter. It's kind of a sometimes common thing in near-death experiences to be greeted by a loved one or somebody familiar or somebody with knowledge that makes you comfortable, apparently, in your near-death experience. So my dad was my greeter. Now here's the thing that will blow your mind about that. Not that my dad, I saw my deceased dad. What will really blow your mind about that will be this. This would have been around March, I'm not sure what date, but it was pretty close to around the time that my dad was dying. My dad died on March the 9th. And so, he was my greeter. Maggie! He was my greeter, sorry about my dogs. So I saw him. I don't remember the details of our conversation. What I do remember what I felt was I felt comfortable. I was smiling. I was joyful. I was laughing. We were having a good time together. I didn't feel scared. I wasn't worried about anything. Just enjoying that time with him. I don't want to go into a lot of details about it, but that was the first thing that I had happen to me in that near-death experience. The next thing that happened, one of the next important events that I want to share with you, because I don't have the details to share all of the details with you tonight, but one of the next important things that I remember was facing death. I was laying in my hospital bed. I was in my coma, but I was very aware my mother and my ex were both there in the room. I was aware of them. I knew they were there, but I knew they couldn't do anything for me, type of thing. And I saw what now I believe, and what I saw was death. Started out at the end of my hallway. I could see towards the end of my hallway. I could see towards the end of my hallway because I was in a coma, right? I was seeing from outside of my body at that point. And I was laying in my bed, and the figures were dark and clothes, robe, darkish figures, just dark. No look, no face, nothing, just darkness. 2 of them. And they started at the edge of into my hallway and started to get closer. And I was scared. I was so scared. Most scared I've ever been in my life. I was so scared. But I also knew that my other family around me couldn't do anything. But in that moment of being really, really scared, I had a guardian angel appear to me. It was in the form of a Native American Indian, younger, mid-20s. And she laid simply on the bed next to me, and just laid with me, and brought me a sense of peace, and that I was going to be okay, and I was getting to the point of close to judgment. I could feel the end of life as we know it in the human body on Earth. And I didn't care. I wasn't concerned. I wasn't scared or concerned about leaving life. I was scared about some things in judgment. But here's the thing, if you take nothing else from this video tonight, here's the thing that I was most scared of. I wasn't scared about, and I want you to know today, part of my message that I feel is very important to you, of getting to you, is this. The things that we worry about on this earth, the things that we worry that we're going to be judged about, and we're not going to be able to enter the afterlife, enter heaven and hell type of situation, and I didn't worry about any of those folks. He wasn't worried. He wasn't concerned about curse words. He wasn't concerned about little lies and things of that nature that I had done. All these little things that we run around and we're concerned about daily in our lives that are so important. Money, working on a job, possessing things, all that wasn't important. Wasn't important at all. But I felt a great sense of peace, and I felt he showed me some things to affirm that Christianity is a religious term. That Jesus Christ, God, afterlife was real. What we do on earth, what matters on earth, folks, what we're here for, help and love other people. That's what life's about. Some of us have extra talents. Some of us can do things better than others. Some of us are blessed and just destined to be certain roles and do certain things. Everybody should find their role. Don't give up hope. Do what you love. Love other people. Don't talk gossip about other people. Don't harm other people. If it's not going to bless them, if it's not going to build them up, if it's not going to help them, don't even share it. Don't even talk about it. If you don't know the situation, don't speculate. Don't start rumors. Don't do things like that. We're here to love, support, and help others. That's what I want to do. That's what my mission in life is. I'm here to spread the message about cannabis and how it treats us better than anything on the planet. Cannabis oil is the key, one of the 3 keys that saved my life and brought me back to where I am now. Cannabis oil, diet, and exercise. And now I get the beautiful, because I'm out here in Colorado now, and I took that chance and leap out here. Actually, I didn't take that chance. God put me out here because it's part of God's will and God's plan for me to be here. My Creator's plan. All of this is the reason why you guys are watching me, the reason why you follow me on Facebook, the reason why you like a post, all part of a greater reason, a greater purpose, a greater plan. And your purpose in life is not to just pay bills and die and go to a job and just go there and pay bills and worry about bills all the time. That's not your purpose. That's not any of our purpose. I'm telling you that right now. So, that's a little bit about my story, about my near-death experience. I got a lot more details, but again, we don't have time for all that tonight. Some more great news that I wanted to share with you tonight. I wanted to do this for was because the other thing I wanted to share with you is that for all of you out there that have lost hope, don't give up. Do not give up. Keep fighting. There's more. You can do it. One of the best things you can do right now, even if you don't have access to cannabis, is me, Mama. Even if you don't have access to cannabis, my dog just has to be knocking on the door because I tapped the wall. So if you don't have access to cannabis, change your diet. Look at your prescriptions. I guarantee you there's probably prescriptions that you're on, like I was, that you could probably eliminate. You know, their doctors throw prescriptions of everything. It doesn't mean just because you're depressed doesn't mean you need an antidepressant. Just because you have anxiety doesn't mean you need a Xanax. Some people may need them until they get cannabis. Some people may need them until they change their diet and exercise. But the fact of the matter is, pharmaceutical can be great. I'm not downing pharmaceutical. I'm not anti-pharmaceutical. I'm anti when you're using pharmaceutical and not addressing the problem. When you're throwing medicine at something and not correcting the thing healthy. We know it's good and bad. Fresh apple over a loaded candy bar item. It's not rocket science, folks. Those are things you can do until you access cannabis. If you're in a state fighting for cannabis, keep fighting. Don't give up. Hopefully this year, in the coming year, as God allows and God moves, I have a lot of things and plans going on, folks. A lot of things I don't want to do. And my main mission always has been, always will be, don't care what anybody says to you, is this. Getting the message out there about COPD and cannabis, helping other people, and obviously, I'll just, there are a lot of people out there who claim that they cured themselves with cannabis. Not all of them are going to be true. I'm going to tell you that right now. But my story is 100% true. I've got all the documents, everything to back it up. My life is a testament, and I'm here for this reason, to share this message to you. So that's what I want you to know. As we move forward, I keep continuing to share the message as much as far and anywhere anybody will listen about cannabis soil treating COPD. The Waters of Hope Foundation is now up and running. Hope to expand that soon. Hoping soon to have a website up that will allow be on a subscription basis, because obviously I've got to find a way to subsidize and not everything's free. Unfortunately, we live in a society that we made where we are possessive people and we have to pay and do all these things. But so the website will be a one-stop shop to access to me. I'll have exclusive contact that regard to COPD and cannabis and other health elements that you come to me with. You will have the ability to interact with me like this through video and web chat and Skype and different modes. I'll have conferences where I will do live video feed conferences with multi people. And then, we also at that point, I envision in the future, I see some different things with Waters of Hope, branching out and doing other things. But what I see and what I envision is not always what his plan is. So I live by his plan. I live for what he has for me. Whatever he has next for me, my gosh, it's been a wild ride. It's been amazing. If I leave the planet tomorrow, I know that I've accomplished as much, if not the complete. I know I haven't completed the whole mission, but I know that I made a difference, and I've gotten that message out there. So, you know, and it won't sadden me at all if that happens. And I have to leave this earth. But while I'm here on this earth, what I will be doing is in your face about cannabis. I will be in your face about pharmaceutical. I'll be in your face about shitty doctors. I'll be in your face about states with bullshit marijuana laws. I'll be in your face about states with no marijuana laws. That's what I'm here, that's what I'm about. I'm a loudmouth, I speak my mind, and I have a message of hope, a message of recovery. It's true, it's real, and I appreciate all of you that took the time to watch tonight, and God bless you all. I hope you have a wonderful evening, and we will do this again soon. I apologize that I couldn't get it up on the other page, running like I wanted, but this was the first time I kind of did it, so it was an experiment. If you haven't, if you have COPD, join my Facebook page, Treating COPD with Cannabis. Website coming soon. My email, Jeff Waters, COPD@gmail.com. And also my Facebook page, Jeff Waters. Also have my Facebook life coach, Jeff COPD Waters page, and now the Waters of Hope page, and my YouTube channel. So I'll be uploading new content to the YouTube channel probably tonight or tomorrow, sometime this week, and some new videos for you guys to share. I appreciate all of your views, all of your shares. What I want to ask you to do is, when I'm done with this video tonight, I want you guys to like it, and I want you to share the heck out of it. Share it on your page, share it in groups, share it everywhere. I appreciate it, and I'm thinking about doing something special, maybe a giveaway or something later on, attached to this video. So, thank you all for a great video tonight. Thank you for listening to me ramble about my story and what I'm here for, what my mission is, and what I'm all about. Again, cannabis oil treats COPD, cannabis oil treats PTSD, cannabis oil treats depression. Not just cannabis oil, cannabis products. They treat just about anything you can think of. If you have access to cannabis, there's videos online. I'll be sharing videos again on how to make cannabis oil. It's not a hard process at all. And again, thank you for all your support. Have a great evening.